River Realms, they call it. What a fine poetic name for something as rotten and twisted as our land has become. It was not always so. Long ago, the old empire, the noblest and most enduring society created by humankind, spanned almost the entire continent of Zerine, the cradle of man. But after several millennia of progress and incomparable achievements, inevitably, the empire began to fall into stagnation and decadence. Desperately holding on to their privileges and resisting change while trying to avert the collapse of the realm, the emperor and his theocracy took to measures that were worthy of true despots in cruelty. Subjugating weaker realms, enslaving whole nations, strip mining foreign resources, oppressing imperial citizens, war on several fronts, genocide. Eventually, the gods could no longer tolerate such horrors wrought in their name. Foretold by an abundance of divine omens, they descended upon the empire to right its wrongs. Thus, in a chain of dreadful events that became known as the Calamity, they annihilated the empire in a matter of days. The gods then finally saw what they had done in their anger and confusion. It is said that so much grief and shame filled them that they were broken and they left this reality, never to return. The continent and its inhabitants seemed dead, but at length survivors began to crawl out of their hiding holes and faced a land that no longer welcomed them. Arcane anomalies, the fallout of the Calamity, now riddled the continent, and people realized that they had to share their new home with changed and twisted creatures. Terrible beings entered through the cracks in the tapestry of reality, arose to rule over the natives. In time, these new powers rebuilt the fallen empire in their own image, and the River Realms, now godless and vengeful, reincarnated from the ashes. The inhabitants of the land, such as I, now eke out a living under the crushing rule of the new empire. The continent itself constantly resists our every attempt at building a cozy home for ourselves. As travel is dangerous, many ventures specialize in transferring cargo and passengers over bleak and deadly leagues of land. Others try to take everything of value from said travelers, or attempt to find buried treasures among the ruins of the old empire. The leaders of the endeavors are, some say, the bravest men and women of the River Realms. Such a leader is called a Vagrus.
Vagrus. The River Realms. The realm of the rivers. Do I go and grab a sausage? I don't know if I want a sausage. Let's skip the sausage. No sausage for today. The tea will have to be enough. Why can I move 10? Morale. So we picked up a bunch of quests for Arkan, Devon. I have Infinity Contraband on me at the moment. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah. Let's just move out. I think all the quests are procure, restock, supply, run. Hello, Grog. What's Grog up to? Let's move up. What game? This game is called Vagrus, the Riven Realms. It's basically like a mercenary slash merchant sim. With lots and lots of RPG stuff in it. I'm doing alright. I have a headache today, actually, but other than that, just not bad. And we can just chill a day here. A lot of MMO? Oh, what MMO? Turn in, turn in, turn in. Doing fetch quests, basically. I'm delivering items for some random factions. Which is one of the easiest early ways of just getting money and doing stuff. So now I need to take more stuff up to another town called Devon. But if there are any kill quests near Crystal, I don't think I want to take this. Let's just go to Devon. Procure goods. Oh, you've been playing shitloads of MMOs. Not just one. Oh, there's the rest button. And how's that going? How's EVE Online nowadays? It's one of those... It's one of the few games I never managed to get into. It's too social for me. And like having to join a faction. It's just too much for me. Same reason. I kind of liked playing... what's it called? Not Avalon. Albion Online. Because it's literally the same game as EVE Online, but fantasy, right? But I even joined a guild there, but it was just too much work. Alright, now we can continue. Grug never got deep into EVE. Grug mostly mine and watched YouTubes. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's one of those games I would like to be able to get into. I like the idea of it. But I just always get bodied by that social aspect. Ooh. Trading house license. I don't really know what the plan is right now. I kind of want to go to one of the other northern towns that I've never been to. We could do that, maybe. But we'll see. Once we get up to Devon, we'll figure out what we'll do. I was also thinking of looking if we could establish an outpost in Devon. Because I haven't tried that. I don't know what it means. I just know that it costs 250 bucks, and I have 658 right now. So it could be something to try. I think you can buy an outpost here. And Devon, I think, is in a better place. Because, I don't know. Torzag is honestly, like, in the best place in the entire game. But the issue is that it's like in the middle. Everything goes by Torzag, no matter what, almost. But the issue is that this pass is blocked. They've blocked it off due to the main story, and I'm not really participating in the main story right now. So it really depends on if I decide to, like, try to do anything with that. Like, maybe we should try to tackle the story, what's happening there. But I also want to see if you can just not do that. Right. So we should go up to, like, Tot. Maybe Radon here as well. And see what we can find. The Plains of Agony. Eve far more in-depth and slow-paced. Also can just target asteroid and leave for half hour. Grug tried getting into corporations, but too many rules. There's story? Yeah, there's lots of story. But it's more like... it's more like a... I don't know how to put it. It's more like a global story. Like, there's things happening in the land. And you can, like, choose to engage with it or not. And there are tons of little different storylines that you can delve into. And I'm just trying to roleplay my character. I'm just trying to play like an ex-veteran who's broken into smuggling or something like that. But you start out down here by Kernak Way Station, and the pass here by the Twin Towers has been blocked by the Empire. Because there's some outbreak of, like, magical nature down here. There's like a wind that's blowing all the time randomly, where there's like screams and whispers and voices in the wind, and every time it happens, all your guys get scared, you lose morale and stuff. And apparently there are like monsters lurking around in the mountains here. So that's like a storyline that you can delve into here and check out if you want, because the game... Okay, hold on. Your shady associates of the Carpenter's Guild might be able to help you with smuggling. Do I need... do I lose anything doing this? Minus... Okay. You do lose 15 Carpenters' reputation by taking advantage of their help. But yeah, like here, this is where you build your crew, right? Like, I have 30 slaves right now, 15 workers, 5 scouts, 22 fighters, which I have a bunch of mounts, right? So you can convert your fighters into outriders, which is just a mounted fighter. Which is just a better fighter, really. And I also have a bunch of beasts of burden, who carry just a lot of cargo. But I have 28 fighters total, right? But you can buy licenses from people in the game that lets you hire up to like 200 fighters for half a year or something like that, and then you have to buy a new license. So you can play like a huge war band if you want. And I feel like if you do that, it makes more sense to like try to delve into these events that are happening and like try to aid the Empire with the issues and stuff. This is sort of like King of Dragon Pass, but Caravan instead of Tribe. I actually haven't really, I don't know if I even know what that is. Is that a game I should play? Is that what you're saying? But yeah, it's kind of like make your own adventure. You're the leader of a comitatus, which is basically a merchant or a mercenary group or whatever that like help passengers go from place to place or take cargo for the various guilds and noble houses or take on bounty hunts and stuff like that. And you also have companions, so it has like characters that you can find and recruit that have their own little storylines, just like if it's Baldur's Gate or something like that. And they have their own perks. You know, this person here, you can make them a chief handler, scoutmaster, a Venatoris, which gives them like a role inside of your band, which gives you buffs and bonuses and unlocks like equipment slots here for your band, your crew. And yeah, and there's a bunch of different noble houses that you can like focus on trying to become friends with certain groups, right? I'm mainly focusing right now on the Carpenters Guild and the Loaders Guild because they are two smuggling guilds. But then there are like two churches, and various other things. Like these are all the factions in the game right now. At least the ones that I think this actually expanded at some point. So there might be even more, I don't know. These guys hate me, I don't even know who they are. And they all have their own quest lines and stuff like that. And they give a bunch of different bonuses, and they offer different items that you can trade and sell somewhere else and blah blah blah. Actually, we leveled up the Church of Ashkul. This gives me plus 10 healing base chance. And this is a ring. Grants you 5 accuracy and 25 cold resistance. I mean, I'm looking at it here, and yeah, this is definitely something I could maybe try playing. I really like this kind of, like, choose your own adventure kind of game, and managing bands or tribes or whatever. It's really nice. I like that a lot. 810 cows. Do you have any idea how rich you are if you have 810 cows? These guys are rich as hell. Yeah, I think I will actually King of Dragon Pass. I will actually put that on my wish list there. Oh, it's the same guys who are making 6 Ages. I've looked at that game too, but I don't know. Is this the same kind of deal? Yeah, maybe I should look at this game too. Fire season, herds. Oh, they're making a new game. Thousand Hills. Tactical narrative game. Sounds like a Kojima genre. This doesn't look as interesting. The underworld heists. This looks like a little too silly. But the other ones look kind of interesting. Yeah, I might take a look at that at some point. Alright, we turn these in, right? Yeah. So. Can you buy the Hall of Trade? The offices of the Legate. There, maybe. The garden is home to many of the less militaristic city institutions. A large marble compound to the south end of the district houses government offices, with coveted top-floor offices overlooking the hanging gardens across the cavern. They say that Legate Ultron Akanis runs the city from this compound through an army of bureaucrats and clerks. If you have to deal with the law, you have come to the right place. Hello, Spider Pig. How you doing? Inquire about obtaining a license for a permanent outpost. The city's Officium Factum Bureau lacks any distinctive features on the outside as well as the inside. From its great hall, side passages open into smaller vaults where individual cases can be administered. One such chamber is the office where you can apply for buying some land. You consider your next step. Ask about the administrative fees and pay them if you can. That will be 200 brass, the clerk says. A deposit to make sure you are serious about your business, not just some pump trying to gather information. In case you do end up buying a property, we will of course deduct the amount from the price. You nod, acknowledging the fact. Then the clerk clears his throat and speaks again. And naturally, there's an additional fee of 50 brass for the paperwork. These documents do not maintain and organize themselves, you see. Yet again he clears his throat and gazes at you expectantly. Pay the price. The clerk flashes a rather dishonest and artificial smile at you. Great, he says, while shoving your coins into a drawer. The Empire thanks you for your support. The man proceeds to scribble something on a small piece of parchment, then hands it to you. This document proves that you have paid your dues. Should you be looking into the property catalog of another major settlement, this will guarantee free browsing through those. At least this part is done. Oh, that was just the price to allow me to buy a site. Okay. The city's... Yeah. Browse the Officium Factum's catalog for a site you can purchase. Although the clerk does not seem gleeful about it, he gets up from behind his desk and beckons you to follow him. He leads you into a back room where he points you to an oversized book, which contains rows and rows of purchasable land within the Riven Realms. Most of these are already sold, he explains, so it might take some time to find something that might interest you. He sighs, then begins to flip the pages. Just let me know when something catches your eye. You start to browse the gigantic ledger of properties. You keep poring over the book for what feels like ages, yet you're unable to find any strip of land worth purchasing. Then, when you're just about to give up, something catches your eye. You point at it, indicating it might interest you. The clerk leans over your shoulder. Ah, excellent choice, he says. A salt mining strip just northwest of Brine Mere. Salt is a valuable commodity. The price is affordable too. You have been to that region, so you have quite a solid idea of what the property and its yields might be worth. It could prove lucrative to secure it for yourself. So it's like here somewhere. Because this is the Brine Mere. The northwest? What, so it's like here? The Valley of Sleepers or something? The clerk checks the specifics. Oh, okay. We're not even close to affording this. Okay. The clerk tells you that it's going to cost 2,000 brass, minus the 200 you've already paid as a deposit. The 50 you paid for administration is good and gone. But that's far from all, the administrator states. You have to present 3,000 brass at least, and we shall still need someone of serious influence to back you up. A sponsor, if you will. If it's someone of high enough stature, it might even lower the price. We simply must know that this strip will not be wasted, and something good comes out of it for the glory of the Empire. You have the utmost support of a major trading house. This option will cost you 1,400 brass, but you need to prove 3,000. Proceed without a sponsor. This option will cost you 1,800 brass, but you need a lot more as collateral. 5,000. Okay, so we need the full support of a major trading house. Oh, that's not one of the guilds. Oh, okay. So either one of the churches or one of the major noble houses. House Okwo, House Venari, House Darius. There's also the Rathanic Alliance or the Scythicness Covenant. But those, I don't really understand what those are. I feel like those are, it's kind of weird that, because I feel like these aren't even Imperial. I feel like these are from the dragons, right? Like here's the Crimson Gate, and this is where the dragons come from, Angrid. Is that part of the Empire? And if so, why is there a gate blocking my path? But anyway. We just need to choose one of the houses then and try to focus on those. I don't know which house I like though. I think House Okwo is kind of lame. House Okwo. House Okwo is one of the grandest and the most rapidly growing trading house in the Empire. It is considered an upstart, young venture that has no business at the table of the big organizations, and yet it has reached its current economical and political power in a matter of decades, and does not seem to be slowing down. Their sigil is a set of golden scales on a brown field. Doesn't really say that much about them. House Darius is one of the most prominent trading houses of the Empire. Founded centuries after the Calamity, it owns vast tracts of land and has rights as well as wealth that rival churches or smaller countries. Its symbol is a bronze trident on a field of crimson, harkening back to the founder's mariner origins. Darius the Bold was a famous sea captain. Their most valued assets are in weapon production. mainly from obsidian, but also metal, armor crafting, producing cheap military supplies. They even have great slave training centers, usually next to major slave markets. But they also are known to be able to provide exquisitely trained and rare slaves to wealthy customers. House Darius. So House Aqua, where's the last one? House, what are they called? House... They're not called House? Oh, they're called House. Have we not asked anyone about those guys? House Aqua, House Darius, House... Venari. Oh, there. House Venari is one of the most powerful trading houses of the Empire, founded during the Restoration era. It owns vast tracts of land and has rights as well as wealth that rival churches or smaller countries. Its symbol is the manticore, derived from the ancient crest of the Venarius family. House Venari is run by a council whose members are called Aculeus Dominus, or Stinger Lords, referring to the manticore's poison stinger. The heads of each outpost and headquarters are responsible for their branch of the business and report to the council through feared retainers called claws, who have great authority. The greatest assets of the Venari are the oil fields north of Kabur and the mushroom plantations in the northern and middle realms, but they have an interest in almost everything that can be traded. They are constantly threatened by House Darius on the slave markets and trading houses from the Dragonlands when it comes to metal and wood trading. It is rumored that the Venari have a long-standing good relationship with the assassins of Atermanis, who give them better prices for high-valued targets. But if we look here, you can see the rewards. This kind of... I don't know what the Hanjari are. The city-dwelling cast of Tark. Okay. House Darius. Because you get little perks here for assisting them. And they have very different, like, outlooks here. House Darius, you get push them. The cruel methods used by House Darius to enhance the effectiveness of their slaves are widely known and feared. While on House Okwo it says, the lenient methods of House Okwo are sometimes known to produce beneficial effects on slave labor. And House Venari, I actually have a lot of rep with House Venari already. I have none with these guys, really. We are almost at 2 here. So maybe we just continue with House Venari? I don't really know if I have a preference otherwise. We're almost at 4. We only need 101 more. Their associates are the Carpenters Guild. Alright. What about these guys? Associates Loaders Guild. House Darius. Associates the Church of Sergorod. Yeah, sure. Let's align ourselves with the Carpenters Guild and House Venari. That means that when we take quests here, we should focus on those as much as we can. So the Stinger guys. But now here's the thing. What is cheap here? Devon. I actually don't know. Dies. Dyes are not a great price here, but it's not terrible. Don't think metal is at all good here. You sell metal here. Chitin is good here. Coal isn't great here, but it's not terrible. Oil? Really? Wait, pick Devon. Where's Devon? So, let's see. Oil. 18. Yeah, this is one of the cheapest places to buy oil, except for some other random places I haven't been to yet. So, what is it called? What is up here? This is Tot. There's no way we have any rumors or anything of Tot. Not much there. Nope. Tot. Nothing. So let's buy some chitin. Chitin seems to be a decent buy here. And let's also do... Actually, they don't have oil here. The price is good, but they don't have it. Mushrooms. Hmm. Don't think any of these things are really that good price. Maybe we just buy more chitin. Yeah, let's just go with that. Then we rest. Because we don't really know anything about the town up north. I've never been there. And there are no rumors ever from there. So we'll just have to go and see what happens. Oh, they have oil now. Let's buy some oil. I want to sell the bogweed, but nobody buys bogweed. All right. We're going on a little adventure. Don't know what to expect here. The accursed wind picks up and soon becomes a real problem. Not only does it turn into a horrid, powerful windstorm, but very soon it also carries with it the whispering, moaning voices that soon start to affect every member of your crew. Headaches, loss of focus, even some kind of paralysis and extreme bewilderment. Under the influence of the otherworldly noise, your combs start to wander off, either because of trying to escape the voices or because they are hypnotized by them. Strong-minded. Hail! Fuck you! I lost a fighter? By the time you gather all your mental presence and shake some of your combs out of this miserable torpor, someone has gone missing in the terrible windstorm. No amount of searching after the lost turns up anything. There are no tracks, nothing to follow. Eventually you give the order to move on. You have to cut losses. The crew trudges on, but you can see that everyone is affected. Comitatus tries to cover as much distance as it can, quickly. Eventually the wind dies down. Wait, what is this? As the Comitatus approaches the border of the forlorn waste, going just past the waystones among the jagged hills, you begin to hear the howl of the wind. It picks up as you move, and huge ash clouds become visible ahead. The forlorn waste is in turmoil. The unnaturally mad winds have whipped the grey, silt-like dust into a hell of suffocating greyness. There is no way that anyone can cross the wasteland to the north, nor even stay alive for any length of time. And you have heard of that these storms are constant now. The forlorn waste has become impassable, at least until the winds return to normal. Just as this realization hits you, a terrible ash storm hits the Comitatus on the hill. It takes over an hour to get clear of the terrible wind and silt. It takes even longer to rid yourself of the ash that covers your clothes and hair. What the fuck? Okay. Well, so much for that, I suppose. We became inspired. Hooray! I'm beginning to wonder if I might have to engage with heroics to deal with some of these random things. Like, that's blocked off now. And it feels like that's obviously something that needs to be solved in one way or another to gain access to that. Otherwise, maybe you can sneak past it from Avernum to Kabur, and then maybe you can go to Tot this way. Perhaps? Because we can't go to Tark. You can't go through the Crimson Gate to Angred. They won't let you through. 3 cities. Don't even know what the hell that is. Down here is closed because of the stuff going on here. Could go here, maybe. Hills of Talion. So we can go to Tectum Carvos. And then try going down here. See whatever this is. But We can also go to town here and just see if we can gain some information. Try to find out more about the wind situation. You inquire about the current situation with the Whispering Winds, which is the talk of the town, but you can immediately sense that something is not right from the reaction of the official. You're subsequently sent to an administrator, then some offices that are supposed to deal with logistical issues, who then in turn send you over to another office handling public information. They tell you all this is classified. Eventually an Ashgul priest informs you that there is indeed something odd with the winds, ever since an earthquake and storms occurred down south at the Singing Winds. He will not elaborate, but tells you that a detachment of the Empire is hard at work to protect citizens such as you. They are stationed to the south of Torzag's shelter. Apparently, for security reasons, all travel over the Sepis Mountains is temporarily suspended. But is that really the same thing? Like, is that really related to the winds up north? Maybe they are. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do then, other than just continue trying to do the few quests we have here. Distribute to Sunrock. Defend near Sunrock. We can do that? Sure. Fly run to Sunrock. Eliminate near Devon. Eliminate near Crystal. But these are a little scary. That's an encounter difficulty of 324, and it's 2 encounters. I don't have that much power. And I kind of don't plan on having that much power. There's also this vortex here. The question is the vortex, like, responsible for the winds here? I'm not sure. Show the prince your astrolabe and ask his aid in recharging it. No, let's not ask for that. Because the astrolabe is actually recharged. So we could go back to the Outer Realms. I just don't know if I really want to, like, that much. I I have tons of chitin. Where the fuck do you sell chitin? We have crystal. I actually need to go to crystal. We have sunrock. Both would be profitable for chitin. Alright, let's just head down there then. Oh, everyone's cranky? Yep, they're a little cranky. Double pay will solve that. Eliminate. 198, 3 combat encounters. All the way up there, Jesus. So... I'm just gonna sell all the chitin here. It's not like super profitable, but it's still a profit. And oil is not worth selling here, unfortunately. Again, nothing is worth buying here, I think, ever. This place is just kind of ass. I think I'm not gonna take any of these. Let's go to Larnac and then try to go down to the southwest, maybe. Though I feel like one of the main things we should be doing is just doing quests here. It is a little hard to feel like you know what you're doing or like where you're supposed to go or whatever. I will say that. Distribute to to Avernum. We want to go to Avernum. Am I really not even tier 2 Loaders Guild? Maybe they don't like me. Maybe I did something bad. I don't know, maybe I hurt them. Yeah, let's just go do this quest near Sunrock. Let's not worry about things too much beyond that. We can go to Avernum, though. Sure. Let's go to Avernum. First, we go to Crystal. Wait for the attack to commence without handing over the promised reinforcements. They didn't like me marching there. Marching and then having to fight is bad. The Hanjari veterans yell anxious commands. Let's see. Counterattack. Concentrated defense. Flank. Insult. Intercept. Yeah, makeshift barricade is just the best thing. It's basically like if you can get your defense above their offense, that's the best case scenario. You still lose guys left and right, but now let's flank. Do we insult? Let's insult. Lost some slaves. Enslave their guys. Lost a surprising amount of guys. Jesus Christ. Another attack is incoming, so you stay. Uh-oh. Now I don't have enough soldiers. This one is actually a little... Oh, no, never mind. I managed to get one more defense than they have offense. That's what matters. Insult is super OP. Plus 20 critical success margin. Disengaged. There we go. There we go. There's no way this counts as going into the crystals, right? Going to Crystal because I have new bags waiting for me there. I don't know if they're gonna be good or bad or whatever. I guess we'll find out. The night is quiet. Only the whistling wind and the muted sounds of slumbering comitatus can be heard from outside your tent. You slowly drift off. You're woken by something, and for a moment or two you do not know what it was. A sound, perhaps? Chittering? Still groggy, you take a look around in the tent's darkness, only to discover some movement towards the entrance. Your heart jumps when you see an arachnid silhouette the size of a human head stalk the entrance flap and squeeze its bulbous body under the linen. Following it carefully outside, you see that the dark green spider-like thing is moving away and into the night at rapid speed. Due to its size and sneaky, soundless movements, your guards must have missed it entering the camp. Now it's about to leave. But what was it doing in your tent? Try to follow it. You stride out into the wilderness after the striped thing and try to follow its fast, erratic movement over rough terrain. Yet it is dark and the place is unfamiliar, so it is very difficult to keep up with the creature, and you're sure it is trying to lose you. Some of your crew sees you run out of camp and soon join you. At length, the spider creature escapes into a hole in the ground beneath a large rock. You and a group of your combs stand around the place trying to decide what to do. "It's a lurker spider, Vagrus," one of your crew confides. "Completely harmless, except it steals stuff from people and gathers it in its lair. There might be loot in the hole apart from whatever it took in your tent." Apologetic chittering can be heard from inside the hole. You are sure someone could reach in and fish things out. Don't have enough morale to have someone else do it, but we do have Harvick here. He apparently likes doing this kind of shit. Alright, have Harvick reach inside. Harvick walks casually to the hole, lies on his side and reaches inside with his mantis-like arm, using it as a spear. There's a painful, sad chittering, then silence. Harvick hauls the dead body of the lurker spider out of the hole and tosses it at your feet. "The culprit is dealt with, boss." He then spends the next quarter of an hour alternating between his two hands, between digging and reaching for things. Eventually the lair collapses, but by then a sizable loot pile has been recovered, including your stolen coin purse, and everyone's bone tired, so you leave with your loot. The rest of the night passes without incident. Simple jewelry, tribal trinket, a valuable treasure. Alright. Okie doke. The workshop. Collect previously placed order. You are here to collect an order. Yes. Tell him exquisite tools. He would really love those. Sure. I can use these for many years to come, Vagrus. Show me his tools and I can tell you of a craftsman. That's what my father used to say. Does that unlock something? Blinders and combat saddles. Weapons made from bone and obsidian. Is this even good? There's no way obsidian and bone weapons are better than steel weapons. Like, there's just no way. The camp of the trading house Darius is a secluded site right next to Crystal. It looks like a field encampment for several cohorts, covered by a shielding roof made of schist. Schist? There's not much air movement under the massive construction. It is hot and stinks, but at least workers do not get blinded by accidentally looking in the wrong direction. The guards are also legionnaire-styled men. Their armor is light, their weapons are made of obsidian, but the whole look is strikingly similar to the Imperial soldiers, a deliberate design choice. They stop you and question quite thoroughly. One of the guards mentions that he has heard of your comitatus. They agree to bring you to their leader. The man leading the local branch of House Darius is dressed similarly to his guards, although in his case the legionnaire armor is genuine, and his gladius is made of steel. He must be close to 60 years old, but his handshake still feels like an iron trap. A man of few words and little patience for fools. Ask him to outline the situation in crystal. We are stuck here because that blubbering nitwit of a whore's son, magistrate, is unable to come to a decision about the future of this damned backwater outpost. Or he is just too tripped up on Bal Urkal, knows what kind of lizard shit he's cooking for himself. Doesn't matter. We've been in the middle of these blasted negotiations for a blasted year. It is very clear that he did not want to say blasted. He is just trying to be civil. It is not becoming of him. We are doing very little business here. House Darius will leave as soon as we have a definite no regarding our very clear, very profitable proposal. If it is accepted, however, we will take over this whole operation. The Septari only concern themselves with crystal magic. We will turn this wretched outpost into a proper imperial town. He sighs. If and when that moist piece of mold can decide. Ask him whether you can be useful in this situation in any way. Well, right now we don't need any wares, as our camp is self-sufficient even if stagnant. This will turn into ferocious construction the moment we receive word that we secured the license. Then we can do business, for we will require all kinds of goods, especially building materials. He rubs his chin, adding, also, if you can do anything to change the current blasted status quo, especially to our advantage, you will have my eternal gratitude. More importantly, you will have the gratitude of House Darius. As soon as the license is secured, we will need exorbitant amounts of workforce, and I will be able to give you very good prices for slaves. Thank him for his time and leave. House Okwo. Report to the magistrate. The outpost of Crystal looks like it is in mid-construction, as if a creature was trying to burrow ponderously into the ground. The glow of the nearby crystal fields is blinding, for even from this distance. The perimeter wall looks more like a screen to protect the settlement from the harsh incandescence. There are sites of construction all over the place. A strong man with a shovel could find work here any minute. The flags and banners are strange, though. Blue pillars on a yellow field, everywhere instead of the usual imperial standards. This is a private undertaking, it seems. The guards at the gate measure the height of your carts. They advise you to take off any banners or other protrusions. Most of the streets in Crystal are roofed or covered to protect from the fatal heat and light of the day. You're asked to report at the magistrate of the place. This is standard procedure, they tell you. A strange place. I've already read a bit this, but let's read it again, because we can actually do this now, I think. It is not easy to build something grandiose in a town where construction is mostly underground. The seat of the magistrate succeeds, however, by being carved meticulously with replicating geometric patterns over the blue and yellow stone walls outside. Large doors open into the compound at the bottom of a few steps. The hall for guests is set up for much more substantial occasions. There's an exquisitely decorated dais with 13 thrones. Only the middle one is occupied. A lanky, nervous-looking man with sunken eyes and long painted nails is sitting on it. His deep blue brocade robe is much too large for him. It could lend gravitas to a larger person, but it instead engulfs and dwarfs him. A young lady in similar but much less tawdry clothes stands near the door. She announces the presence of the highly revered magistrate Flavius Maecilius Septimianus. He is actually called Septimianus, by the way. That's actually what it says. And I think that's actually how you would pronounce it. Special envoy of the Septarius Alliance. Crystalmancer of the 8th Order. She continues with offices and honorifics for 2 minutes. You state your name. It takes 3 seconds, but it is a name some may have already heard of. The magistrate Flavius Maecilius Septimianus moves with nervous spasms and outbursts. He waves towards the huge crystal chandelier and it lights up. He then closes on you and asks for news. Anything interesting. He talks very fast and reeks of perfume. Several kinds of the same, in fact. News from Lumen, news from Arkan. You tell everything you think he is interested of. He scoffs and frowns. The magistrate spends an hour enlightening you in various subjects. His political views are embarrassingly naive. His understanding of the diplomatic environment of the Empire is inane. He also tells you several times that he is the magistrate of the Septarius Alliance, the only power here which counts. The Septarii are crystalmancers, mages who deal with the enchantment of crystals. They think that this outpost will provide important discoveries about their favorite subject, so they funded the foundation of this little settlement. As the representative of the Alliance, the magistrate is the executive power in Crystal, the final arbitrator of justice, and altogether a minor god, as he readily explains. He is happy to wield that power, while also sounding like an utter idiot. Endure and survive. He might stop talking some time today. You might have a chance to say something and be actually heard by the magistrate. Use this opportunity wisely. Ask him about crystalmancy. The younger lady near the dais almost faints upon hearing your request. The magistrate, on the other hand, is delighted. He starts explaining basic facts about crystals, then charges headlong into the depths of the subject. You lose the thread of the lecture in 2 minutes. If you had a deep theoretical understanding of magic and of natural sciences, then you might have understood the first 5 minutes. For at least an hour he uses impenetrable scientific slang and hand-drawn diagrams. At the end you are sure that he is an expert in crystalmancy, but your understanding of the subject has not improved by an inkling. Ask for a practical demonstration. He is happy to show you crystalmancy in action. The young lady provides a beautiful piece of crystal set in a bronze base. The magistrate draws a 9-pointed star around it and begins to chant and invoke. During this process, he does not look like a fool anymore, but a powerful mage, with steady movements and a confident voice. In a minute the crystal lights up. The magistrate explains that the light will fade, in 1,000 years or so, thanks to the crystal's innate properties. He offers the crystal to you. You accept the gift. Yesterday, there was so much reading. I read so much playing this game that I think my headache today is like partially from just asphyxiation from not breathing while reading. It's crazy. I wonder, let me see. There. No, I can't. Unfortunate. Well, it doesn't matter. I have a smartwatch that I never use, and it has like a blood oxygen thing that it can read. And I was just curious to see if I that's like actually true. But I need a cable to start it because it's retarded in Chinese. It doesn't have like a button to start it. You have to start it by plugging it in with the USB, and it has a specific special magnetic USB connector. Ask him about the current political situation in Crystal. He explains that Crystal is in good hands. He leads the little outpost with utmost care and foresight. The important things, like data gathering and magical experiments, go well. However, there are a few trading houses present here that try to push him into extending the settlement. This could be a good idea, but none of the houses has been persuasive enough for him to actually decide this, or really care. So he sticks with his diagrams, invocations, and equations. Those are important things. Buildings can be raised by anybody. You voice your agreement and change the subject. Ask him if you can help him somehow. The magistrate smiles. Of course! So thoughtful of you. There is a little thing I need, and you would be the perfect person to help me. I need some relaxation in this stressful position I am in, and there is no reliable source of bogweed nearby. So if you could get me some, let us say a cartful, then I would be quite obliged. You nod and try not to laugh out loud. Okay, how much bogweed do you want, bro? I think I have 2 stacks. But like, what's a cart full of bogweed? The young lady, you thank him and leave the place. The young lady, who seems to be at the side of the magistrate at all times, escorts you out. While you're leaving, she mentions that you seem to have a calming effect on the magistrate. She then offers you some water before leaving and clarifies a few things about the outpost. The Septarius Alliance does not have the knowledge or the funds to make this place a proper town. Both the trading houses Okwo and Darius are interested in the project. However, the magistrate has a less than stellar diplomatic relationship with the local representatives of the houses. It seems that you might be able to affect the thinking of the magistrate on this issue. I implore you to improve your personal connection with him and lead him towards any decision. I am sure that the trading house chosen in the process would be grateful too. You thank the lady for the water and the advice. Alright, let's actually talk to House Okwo. There is a recessed area close to the main square, covered by a huge awning. It is the temporary headquarters of House Okwo. There are way too many people for such a small area. There are no walls or dividing structures. The whole tent is one huge jumble of people working, packing and shouting. Huge chunks of flavo crystal are being processed along with obsidian and heaps of not easily identifiable materials. There are only narrow passages between dangerously piled up goods. It sounds and looks like a site of constant manufacturing and presumably regular accidents. The guards are in leather aprons, armed with spears and shields. They look like regular workers who took a shift in guard duty. A tattoo of a hammer and a sword on their shoulder mark them as Okwo men. As you do not have that sign on your body, they do not want to let you in. Your account of your travels and deeds are proof enough that a meeting with their head trader is worth his time. The short walk into the farthest part of the compound is fraught with more danger than it should be. Unstable pillars of bricks frame your way, and you have to avoid suddenly appearing haulers in the crossings, while Okwo workers seem to communicate through a non-stop stream of profanities. The person responsible for this mass of chaos is an incredibly corpulent dwarf. He is almost as wide as he is tall, and wears only a loincloth. Not bothering to put down his tools as you greet him, he continues to work on a small piece of bone, turning it into some refined piece of machinery. He talks to you without taking his eyes off the workpiece. Ask him to enlighten you regarding the current situation in Crystal. The dwarf concentrates on his handiwork, but his words are for you. What you see here in Crystal is called scientifically an epic cluster bungle. Do note, Vagrus, that the rights for the development of this experimentation of a village ere we obtained and imbursed by the alliance of the Septarius. So all responsibilities are on the shoulders of those crystalmongers, specifically their magistrate. He works on the piece of bone a bit, then adds with finality. At what? You wait for the long words to paint a complete picture. We are waiting for that crystal fondler to decide about which house will recivificate the license to develop this bunghole. House Darius or our own House Okwo. Until then, we will bore ourselves to death, like now. Ask him whether you can be useful in this situation in any way. Only if you can persuadificate the magistrarian to favor us, hopefully today. Then you will get many carts of invaluabilicious minerals from our house, along with increasified prices for building materials you can supply. Until then, we can only wait. The piece of bone almost breaks in his hands. Levificate. Alright. No. Deliver the bogweed. He only wants 10, bro. I have 100. The magistrate practically jumps up and down when he sees you arriving with the bunches of stinky plants. Then he takes out a little crystal pipe and starts puffing away, smiling and coughing. I am indebted to you, my dear Vagrus, he says, eyes shining with a peculiar light. However, paying any amount of money for the bogweed slipped his mind, although he does seem to be much more relaxed. The magistrate leans closer, conspiratorially. You're the kind of person who travels around, aren't you, Vagrus? You agree with the statement without pointing out how stupid it is. Then I would like you to make a business offer. I need something to be retrieved from the city of Lumen, from a colleague of mine. No need to do it at once, just pop into his laboratory when you're in Lumen and ask him for this list of ingredients. Do you think you could do it? You tell him that this act is within the constraints of your capabilities. He looks happy. You look at the list of ingredients. It is familiar. It is for a peculiar medicine to improve sexual performance. A rather ineffective one, actually. No need to discuss this with anybody, at least not while he can hear you. Ask him whether you can help him in any other way. He starts to list the many issues in his life, stating that he suffers terribly under the stress of being a leader, nay, a visionary, in a small settlement like Crystal. He has only one outlet, working with crystals, but he is allowed to experiment only with low-quality specimens. He alludes to being under the tyranny of his assistant. You could alleviate his pain by selling him some crystal. You have some ceruleus in your possession. There's no way that's my ceruleus. That has to be a shipment. But we can just buy new ceruleus if we go to Lumen. You have some ceruleus in your possession and would be happy to sell him some. You are allowed to visit the magistrate in his private quarters. These smelly and lavishly decorated rooms are a cross between a scientific laboratory and a den of a bachelor with disgusting habits. There are burnt holes in the hand-woven tapestries. Dishes and bins containing all kinds of strange substances are strewn around the room. The acrid smell of some undoubtedly dangerous chemicals mixes with the thick smoke of bogweed, making an eye-watering atmosphere. This is why he has to douse himself in perfume every time he appears in public. The magistrate is happily smoking. He is much more relaxed than in the audience halls. Ask him if you can help him in any other way. Every 6 days you can sell him ceruleus. To support him spiritually in this challenging period of his life, you prepare a pipe, then leave as if there is nothing else you can do. Avernum, Sun Rock. So this is ceruleus for Avernum. That's the only thing we can buy here at all. And I feel like, does that mean I might need to go to Lumen? Otherwise I won't be able to necessarily deliver crystals, because I got rid of some. Sure. We can go to Lumen. But we need more fighters. We still need... I'm working on authority. So we need 3 more insight. Buttons and stuff just don't want to properly work in this game. It makes it feel a little cheap. We can go all the way. Play a game of Dux Bellum for the bottle of cerulean essence. You try to do your best. Success. We have a moderate chance. Success. Oh, come on. Even more? By the last leg of the game, it is clear to you that the gambler is cheating. However, there is no way to prove it. Yet you could cheat yourself. Pocketing cards, gingerly manipulating tokens, or distracting your opponent with underhanded tactics would get you far. Fail. Despite your best efforts, you lose the game. Come back in a week or so, the gambler fellow twirls his mustache. We can play again and again. So you need to win 3 times in a row. And it's like 50% each time. Alright. Purchase a crystal lamp. If I buy this, then we can walk through crystals, I think. Kind of expensive though, which is why I wasn't really... Sell a crystal idol. She's practically slavering over it. I don't want to sell that. +2 power. Fearless. I don't know what fearless does. Yeah, I don't want to sell anything. I feel like selling these kind of things is like usually just bad. Medicine for healthy men. A visit at the colleague of the Magistrate of Crystal. The address you were told to visit in Lumen turns out to be an underground house, with a beautiful lavishly decorated front. There's a huge apothecary on the ground floor, which advertises itself with large trade signs of a mortar and pestle. It has several entrances and does brisk trade. The smiling fat little man with a dappled apron almost cries out loud when he hears the name of the magistrate. He shares an interesting anecdote about the magistrate, about his inability to shut up in any circumstances and getting beat up in philosophy school. When you tell him about the order, he is ready to put it together in a moment. Talk about the ingredients and the use of the powder made from them. Discussing the list of ingredients, both you and the sellers of ointments and medicines agree that this is a drug to improve sexual performance. A popular but actually quite ineffective solution. He has an offer. He can make a much more potent powder, similar in taste but shockingly more efficacious. It will cost money, of course. Yeah. Take the improved ingredients. Ground and combine. This is unethical. We'll take that. Candake's request. Oh yeah, they want jugs. That's a lot of crystals. That's a lot of crystals. I don't want to do this. Defend for crystal, 2 to 3 days. I have 6 days of food. It's not. I can't do it. It's not doable. We have to just go. My money is going down. It's a thickness encampment. They're just kind of chilling here? Whatever. We are not looking to make enemies of the houses. That's bad for business. Here, you can have some more ceruleus. Deliver the ingredients. The waiting hall for auditions at the magistrate's compound is chock full of people. The petitioners are from all kinds of social background and levels of personal hygiene. They stand in queue and listen to the grievances of the one whose turn it is to have an ear of the magistrate. He is visibly being bored to death, as he lies aslant on his throne, in a jumble of clothes and trembling limbs. Then he spots you and sits up straight, eagerly, like a bird of prey spotting fattened prey. He does not dismiss the petitioners, simply leaves the throne and takes you with him into a side closet. Do you have the things I asked for? The man is visibly shaking, an unnerving sight. Give him the ingredients. He takes the little linen pouch, tastes the powder and smiles. Yes, that is the stuff. You have my eternal gratitude, my friend. You should come around sometime when these wretched idiots do not occupy my time. The idea of compensating you for your purchase or trip does not occur to him. Then he feels himself, produces a sincere, disgusting smile and tells you, could you tell those numbskulls in the hall to leave? I have more important issues to cater to, and thank you once again very much. You flee the closet before you glimpse anything disturbing. The people in the hall are not happy. The magistrate, on the other hand. +2, oh, XP. We just need one more XP now, I think. Yeah. Then we can get another deputy. They have 14 supplies here. Ask him to make a decision about the supply of the building materials for the expansion of Crystal. He blanks out, but then he slowly starts to understand the request. Ah, yes. That is an important issue, according to my assistant. She's constantly putting me in the vice to decide. I refuse to do it, just to spite her. But I can see why it can be kind of necessary to choose. I don't care for either house, though. Those are so unrefined. Those are so unrefined brute fellows. Which one should we go for? I put the odium of this one on your capable shoulders, my friend. I'm going to pick House Darius, because I don't like the way the dwarf was speaking in Reddit tongues. I don't. So House Darius gets it. Then let that be my sacred decision. Please go, find my assistant, and tell her what I've just decided. She must announce it or write it down or do whatever it is necessary to make it official. Sacred. You want a puff? You thank him for the offer and start looking for his assistant before the decision gets lost in a plume of smoke. She cries with joy and hurries to announce the results. Time to talk to the trading house you have supported. They will certainly be grateful. Crystal became a town. Oh. What does that mean? Does it gain like a road? The gratitude of House Darius. You approach the camp of House Darius and find it in a serious state of chaos. It is being dismantled. The schist roof has been taken down, and currently the workers are tearing down the rows of tents too. You're almost able to slip in when the guards spot you and rush at you. Hey, you! You're that Vagrus! We have orders to escort you. They do not draw their swords, but walk you to the main forum of Crystal. There the old centurion stands, supervising a quite animated construction process. The largest house on the main plaza, not counting the Septarius building, is under renovation. They are turning it into a fortress. It is rather more of a stylistic choice than the creation of a defensive structure, but it already looks intimidating in its half-completed state. As the local leader of the trading house spots you, his face breaks into a huge smile. It is unexpected and almost terrifying on his weather-beaten ascetic face. Then he takes you into the building, thanking you profusely for your help. You are still escorted by the guards, but you feel much less threatened. Many thanks to you for pushing that intolerable snake towards the right decision. Yes, I have a pretty nice package of remuneration in mind for you. You see, we need a fair amount of slaves for all the development. I will be able to pay you a grand price for them, but we need them in quantity. Let us say if you have 8 slaves, my secretarius will take them all and pay you in silver. Okay. 8 slaves for almost 8. That's not that good. It's still better, but I think slave prices are way too low. Like if they doubled them for buying and for selling, I think that would be fine. But yeah, this is 1 brass per slave basically. These are my slaves. I actually kind of need them, but I'll sell these just to get it done. Plus 160 House Darius. Also, we will need building materials aplenty. Return to this center of command from your wanderings, and for a long time to come, we will be able to take huge amounts of timber or marble for a great price. Now please allow me to get back to overseeing this operation. We had more than enough time for planning, and now the deadlines are looming. Alright. I feel like I might end up having to slaughter a horse on the way, which is not ideal. I have to rest here right now anyway, which is gonna make the issue even worse. Ask the magistrate how his operation is going. What is there to operate? The magistrate's eyes become glassy for a few moments, then he suddenly trembles for a few moments and regains his posture. Ah, the work. Yes, well, it is being done. The Septarius Alliance does good work, though our new partners are certainly becoming busy little ergs themselves, chipping away at the Flavo-Calorus all day and night. Mostly night. And the numbers are, he sighs, then shakes his head. Are you really that interested in these dull things, Vagrus? Come on, leave me with this nonsense. Return of the Worms. Okay, so we can ask for his help against sandworms that we haven't really run into yet. That's one of those quest lines that I feel like I'm kind of avoiding. We get +5 slave workforce, some slave cages that I already actually... I think I might have them, but I'm not sure. Either way, I'm not using them. But yeah, I could go and like do that, but... I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it fits my character. I'm trying to play the game in a way that fits my character, and it's very difficult. One of your crew gets drunk, and in his drunken frustration beats a slave. Have him treated as a slave. Yeah. It's like the 40th time that's happened. House Okwo runs the city, at least for now. Okay. So we got House Okwo in here. I don't know if that matters. Oh shit, there's tons of supplies here. Visit the strange camp. It looks abandoned. The strange little camp sits atop the remote side of the oasis, just under the shade of tall palms, swaying gently in the desert wind. There are several tents and astonishing piles of junk, but at first glance nobody seems to be around. Take a look around. You walk into the camp and call out, but nobody answers. Then you turn your attention to the piles of things. Rugs, jugs, boxes, oars, amphora, glasses, on all kinds of junk. Browsing my wares. The voice is gentle, almost playful. You turn around to face an elderly man in a loose-fitting toga. He has a third eye on his wide forehead, a clear sign of the taint. The man chuckles. Just kidding, I'm no merchant. More of a... He waves his hand around, casually. Collector, I'd say. You introduce yourself. Ah, fellow Vagrus, the old man exclaims, and upon seeing your expression he adds, I'm a Vagrus myself. Well, used to be. Retired now, sort of. He steps forward and offers his hand. Julius Pelio. You freeze and blink several times, then ask him if he is jesting. Julius Pelio is the name of the most well-known Vagrus of these times, a veritable legend, who has done all, seen all. Surely this is not a coincidence. Then you look into the third eye, and remember hearing tales of the three-eyed wanderer and his comitatus of misfits going on all sorts of adventures. Come on, I'm trying to be friendly here, the man says jokingly, still holding out his hand towards you, smiling. You take his hand and ask him if he is the Julius Pelio. Julius Pelio. The one and only, he tells you, and offers you to sit down on a pile of cushions sitting on a dirty Tarkian carpet outside the largest tent. But like I said, retired now. I live here now. The air here is good for me. There is a telling pause, but before you could ask him, he smiles at you and says, I've heard about you, you know. Coming up in this world, it seems. Quite a feat in such a dangerous business as ours. I'll hazard a guess that you haven't come here for a visit specifically, but since you are here, well, you could stay and talk. You're welcome any time. It's not like I get a lot of visitors. You think about what to ask him. Julius always welcomes fellow vagabonds of the wasteland for a chat. Ask him to talk about his travels. Oof, where to begin? I've been to so many places. Saw stuff you wouldn't believe, Julius chuckles, but then very soon gets into the role of a storyteller, and there is just no end to the tales. You listen to his account of his pilgrimage to the holiest place dedicated to a god of light, a vast temple complex in the outer realms, still untouched by the armies of the damned. Then there is a tale of how he met Balur Kal itself, played a game of cards with the deity, which he won, the only reason he escaped unchanged. This is followed by a story of how he lost his humor at Bakaris, the city of despair, and had to recapture it using an enchanted bottle given to him by a being of pure light. He kept the bottle, but forgets under which pile he left it. Then you listen to the convoluted account of the book he wrote, which then came to life due to the jealous power of a dead god, and became a part of the history of a distant realm. And then there is the tale of how he willingly became tainted to save his one true love, but lost her in the end out of foolishness. Versions of the most of these you have heard, but before listening to Julius's account makes them more real somehow, even if you're sure that there is a staggering amount of exaggerations in them. But if only half of the stories are true, he is indeed the legend everyone claims him to be. You will remember much of what he spoke of. Intriguing tales, to say the least. Oh, insight. Oh, we got it. We can now get another Whatever it's called. Deputy? My god. This is why I always put Discord on my server called Robin's server, which is an empty server with a sad dog on it. Because Discord likes to open up on the wrong screen. Fucking hate you. Gives you a heart attack every time. Ask his advice on being a Vagrus. Well, I'm sure you've figured it out by now, he says and waves his hand. So many have different views on how it must be done, but don't let them fool you. There are no rules for our profession. I'm not so sure that's true, though I'd wager there's some book about it out there, written by the kind of people who like that kind of thing. Myself, I never did have a recipe for it. I just tried to use my wits, learn, and of course enjoy it for what it is, freedom. The wasteland being cruel and desolate does not take that away, no. I would not have it otherwise. Surely it's not for everyone, you know, but you and I, we are not regular folk. Share things about your own travels. Being more confident about telling tales, you share some of your own experiences with Euless. Most storytellers are not humble enough to listen to others, but the old man proves to be a great audience, immersing himself into the tales completely, becoming overexcited or emotional at the keening twists and turns. He thanks you, profoundly, after a while, and asks you if you're interested in seeing truly special things. If you are, I might have a challenge for you. Not without dangers, of course, but there would be no point in it otherwise, right? He chuckles. Tell him that you're interested in his challenge. Excellent, old Euless claps. Now what I had in mind is, well, it involves traveling to places, very specific places. See, in the olden days, the best Vagri proved their mettle by visiting the four corners of Serin. But with the winds having gone mad and war up north, it would not be fair to ask this of you, so why don't we have you go to 4 distant locations in this region of Terra Supra? You ask him what he has in mind. I have thought of 4 places you have to travel to and find something there. Then, once you've been to all 4, come back to me and tell me what you saw. I want you to visit Caravan, the Howling City. Well, go near it, more specifically. I don't want you to perish foolishly. But get close enough that you can see the towers and spires of that once magnificent place, and spy a golden dome with the statue of a winged creature on it. Then there's the hidden valley of the Standing Stones down in the border range, on its northern slopes to be exact. Go there and check out the stones for me. What else, Oh, right, there's a small grove of gnarled, twisted trees near the hills of Talion, just on the border of Dragmolak. Visit the pond for me, will you? Lastly, we have the voiceless lake north of Avernum. Go as close as you can at its southern point to see a small island with odd carved obsidian pillars. Cross over it and listen. Just listen. These seem to be strange places. You ask Euless what the point is. Oh, well, once you come back, you'll have to answer some questions about these places. Truthfully, I'll know you're lying. I'll know if you're lying. His enigmatic smile hints at this being serious. He leans forward. Should you succeed, you will have my approval, and I will tell tales of you to anyone who visits me. Believe me, it is a boon you would want. But even if it wasn't, you should be willing to do it for the challenge itself. Now, should you not? He offers his hand and you shake it. The challenge is on. Ask him about the story old man Agos told you. Euless is quietly contemplating what he has heard for a few minutes once you conclude the story Agos told you. Well, that's an odd one. Not sure what to make of it. Did everyone get what they deserve? Did it really happen? He chuckles. No, I'm sure it did. Parts of it, at least. See, I know this fellow, The pause and the frown are quite telling. Agos. He gets around, hands out advice and favors, but does he come to collect? You ask the old man to be more specific. I have had my own run-ins with Agos, neither here nor there now. You'll figure it out if it comes to that, I'm sure, but just know that he is not exactly what he appears. For one, let's say his tale is true. Do you think it is a coincidence that last pilgrimage kept showing up around the Comitatus? He said there's no account of that lousy spirit host haunting the same group of people more than once. But how do we know, really? Have you ever thought that it's because nobody lived to tell the tale? Except for good old Agos, of course. But then he falls silent, and no matter how much you push the matter, Eulus refuses to tell you more. He simply smiles politely. It is enough to make you wonder, though. Alright. Buy fruit. None for the slaves. I'm sure my party members would start complaining if I actually sold it to the slaves. Ceruleus crystals actually seems kind of valuable here. We need 60 crystals to Avernum. Is Agos the old man? Yes. That is true. That is the case. I don't know how the game is programmed. I actually need to check that at some point. Because when you sell by dropping items, the price falls rapidly. Like, it's not worth selling these anymore for me. They're just not worth it. So the question is, if I sell 30 of these, that's an average of 3.9. If I sell 150, that's an average of 2.9. Oh. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I've been playing the game wrong in that case. You actually can't just dump items. I mean, I've been making money, so it's been fine, but you can't just buy like a full cart of crystals and just sell them here, because the price will go down even if you sell it all in one pop. So you actually have to just sell a little bit here and there. Interesting. I actually kind of like that. Now having a place to store something sounds more useful. Yeah, kind of. Because that could also mean, like, let's say you buy something that's actually like really valuable somewhere. You could then just ship stuff there and just put it in storage and then just sell it piecemeal now and then when it becomes valuable. But yeah, you could also just ship it over there so you can go and grab some now and then and take it like on your trips around the block, so to speak. But it also means that, because one of the things I haven't been liking that much is that it feels like I just go somewhere, buy infinite items, and then I go somewhere else and just sell them. Whereas, as a traveling merchant, it's much cooler to have like a... How do I put it? Like, an inventory, right? Unfortunately, I have... can we sell linen here, maybe? Yeah, we can sell linen. Okay, so that's... Is that why? No. 6. Because I think the linen... So now we're here. So now we need to go to Ash, and then here, defend, then to Avernum. The Omphalet Outpost, I don't know if it's really worth going there. It really depends if you can sell crystals there, maybe. But I think they like beer and stuff. Also, insight. We can now get more authority. It seems like 6 is the max, but the question is, can you get 7 if you have a bonus? No, you can't. So we can only get... This is the maximum authority you can ever get. So I'm going to put her as Venatoris. Though I actually want her as Chief Handler, but she can't be that right now. Can I get her to be that? She needs Healer and Beast Lord 2. Chief Handler. Oh, this might be really nice. Opens up an animal equipment slot as well. Which means we can have a dog equipped. Colorish saddlebags. Plus 15 mount cargo active while not all mounted. Plus 5 outrider cargo. Plus 5 mount cargo while all mounted. Where does this go? Tools, harnesses, cargo. So this could potentially be huge in terms of cargo. Yeah, each outrider carries 22 cargo, 50 cargo. Without 35 cargo, 17 cargo. It could potentially mean that I can slaughter a beast of burden. I don't know. Because how much is that? Like, let's say we have this. 35. That's 15 times 19. That's an extra 285. Which means we could slaughter a beast and maybe just buy some more fighters. Perhaps. Or at least sell a beast. So if I sell a beast now, we're at 2921. Then we just buy 2 more horses and we're good. Now we're at sub 200 consumption per day, which is really nice as well. And the amount of workforce that I need just plummeted. To something like that. Let's see, we have $28 fighters now there. All right. I think that was really, really good. That was really strong. This, the Chief Handler, I think is amazing. It's crazy good. I think this is actually one of the best ones. Like, plus 15% cargo is good. But this is honestly kind of like, it's not really that good. But it's not bad either. But this one, Chief Handler, minus 15% consumption for all beasts of burden and mounts. Minus 25% workforce need for mounts and beast force and for beasts. Opens up an animal equipment slot. Minus 10% consumption for outriders. Minus 20% workforce needed for outriders. Max march. I don't know what lure away really means, but we also got better flee. This is just because I'm playing like a small force, and I just think it doesn't get much better than that. That's one of the most important ones, I would say. I kind of wish we had a Marauder Prime, but it'll have to do. You have to choose. You can't have all of them, and that's fine. I think it's actually better. I think limits are good. It creates like a natural build system where you can't just pick everything. All right, let's rest. Our boys are broken. Alright, the trade station. Do business with the Okwo. They don't want anything I have. Quality weapons, exquisite weapons. Bone, timber. Yeah, maybe it's more worthwhile now, like... I'm gonna sell off. The flavor crystal isn't like valuable here, but it's slightly more valuable. Oil is not worth selling here, but let's also sell a ceruleum. It's actually a bit of a loss, but not much, like minor, like 2% loss. And then we buy dried fruit here. That way we have dried fruit we can sell. The new outlook on trading in the game. So now we want to go to Avernum. Just as the Comitatus leaves the town's boundaries to hit the road, you spy a lone, hooded figure standing next to your path in the shade of a tall rock. It's not uncommon to find beggars or camp followers in these places, but your curiosity is piqued when you see Krifta leave the line and walk up to the person. They converse for a while as the Comitatus passes by, and you can see that the stranger is a woman dressed in traveling clothes, her face hidden behind a scarf under the hood. Krifta is becoming tense as they converse until finally she turns away from this person and heads right towards you. The stranger walks back towards the town. We must talk, the tainted archer tells you, with suppressed anger while looking back over her shoulder. You get the impression that it cannot wait. Once you move away from the line, matching its pace while talking, Krifta clacks her beak irritably before finally speaking. That was my handler. Yes, an Imperial agent who has a hold over me still. This is not something I want to divulge. In short, I was press-ganged into working for her and have to do her bidding every now and then. She lets out an angry squawk. I have been left alone for the past few years, but now she wants me to hunt down some people. Because she does not speak for a while, you venture to ask her what kind of people she meant. Abolitionists. The word is accompanied by bile, but also somehow sorrow. Liberated tribes are now allied like some ragtag army, the fools. There are 4 of these bands, she thinks. Someone is making them work together. But that's not important. What is that they have to die. All of them. Before you could say anything, she stops in her tracks and clacks her beak repeatedly. I have to do this. A capable comitatus backing me up would be great, she states, rather than asks. Asks her how she feels about working for the Imperials. How? How? The archer bobs her head angrily. As a bounty hunter, I work for the highest bidder. It makes sense. I need no validation from you. Besides, these tribes are not kind freedom fighters. Or did you believe they are heroes? No, more like murderers and savages. Something tells you that she is trying to convince herself as much as you. Are you in or not? She asks you, much calmer now. Offer your help in this endeavor. Krifta blinks a couple of times, as she expected something else. Good, she says at length. Good. This is good for your business too. You can keep all the loot from these raids, I give you my word. All of it, and maybe even gain the favor of Imperials. You tell her that it sounds like a deal. Good. The huntress narrows her eyes and clacks her beak. 4 of them, each one a different liberated tribe. All 4 despicable. But we have to start with Vyak's Valor. Stupid name. They have no valor. They will know where to find the rest. These are a blight on Stonethorn, camped somewhere in its eastern reaches. Before heading back to her place in the line, the bounty hunter adds, Let's get this over with. I want to be back enjoying my journey with you and your people. Just have to kill these savages first. You know where to look for them. Where? Not there. There. Okay. Okay, so we go... Do I go to Lernak before Avernum? Maybe. Maybe we go to Lernak and sell some garbage. Wait, hold on. There. No more double pay for you guys. Oh, it's this one again. About an hour after the comitatus settles down, a terrible shriek pierces the night. Many of your crew jump out of their bedrolls, weapons drawn, but the howl is distant enough not to be an immediate threat. People are about to return to bed when another scream is heard, then another one, and another one. It goes on for hours, and the originator seems to wander around the camp, always out of sight under the cover of darkness, always just too far to be comfortable to investigate. A group of guards eventually set out in a bad mood to find the source of the howls and kill it or scare it away, but they do not find anything. Eventually, after hours of the bone-chilling screams, the howler disappears. Not a lot of the crew manages to get a good night's sleep, including you. The new day promises to be an exhausting one. We are fatigued. Let's march anyway. Get all the way to town. Alright, so. What is valuable here? Ceruleus crystals are extremely valuable here. Flavo crystals are quite valuable here. scrap metal is basically free here. Dried fruit. Worthless here. Linen. Not worth. Oil, I think oil is probably, I think oil is the cheapest it gets here, more or less. Yeah. We're at Larnac. Let's check. Ash. A Burnham. And Omfalat Outpost. Right? Bright Kelp is obviously the best thing you can buy here. Always. But chitin is really good too. Bright Kelp, chitin. Oil isn't really that good to buy in general. At least it's not really... It's not expensive here, but it's not cheap either. So... yeah, I think we buy... well... we could just do this, right? Buying isn't necessarily the best option. Two days to Avernum. We're gonna fail this one. Easily. This one is undoable. Didn't realize it was 2 days away. Oh, hello there. Church of Surgorod. Plus 15 vigilance. Talisman of Divine Rage. Plus 2 initiative, plus 3 crit. Okay. Purchase a rare jewel. Purchase a valuable treasure. But there's no way these things are worth... Villa Aquela. Sell goods. Sell them an arcane text, crystal lamp. An item of great value. Valuable treasure. Sure. Pay a visit to Stinger Lord Satyrus. Alright, well, if we want a house, we have to work with one of these guys. Offer your services to Lord Satyrus. How very kind of you. The Stinger Lord comments offhand, and you think he will leave it at that, but then he narrows his eyes and seems to realize something. Actually, there might be something here that I... hold on. There might be something here that a Vagrus of your stature could help us with. Someone loyal to us, but not a member of House Venari per se. You see, we have an outpost out on the Smolderbone Flats that is primarily a large underground mushroom operation called Umphalat. It has seen better days, so we do not expect much of it, but recently its yield has become abysmal. Our own agents are mum on the matter, and I fear that someone is playing a game with us, believing that the remoteness of Umphalat will result in us losing interest. Isn't it the best when someone underestimates you and creates a scenario for themselves where you can ambush them? Anyway, I need someone to go there and sort it out. Would you be interested? Okay. Splendid, Vagrus, just splendid. Umphalat can be found in the middle of the flats. He indicates it on one of the large maps laid out on his desk. Go there and act in my name. First, try to find out what the root of the problem is, and if you can, deal with it, decisively. We are manticores. We are scorpions. We do not abide by such nuisances. Take this. He gives you a small letter sealed with his personal sign in wax. This should tell our people there that you are working for us. Use it wisely. You do not want to draw attention to your inquiry too soon. You tell him to consider it done. I didn't equip the dogs. Do we need more medicine? Yeah, I do. Ask the barman if he has a bottle of luminalirium for sale. The barman nods after hearing your question. Yet when you tell him that you would buy it off him, he becomes reluctant. I might do that. I might, he says eventually. But I'd rather sell these rarities to people who step up for this community. You know, stranger, we're trying to be decent people here who aid one another. Lately there's been some terrible attacks on the people of this neighborhood. By monsters, no less. Are you the kind of person who would help us in our hour of need? A good idea, boss, if I may say so, Borax whispers to you. It's always beneficial to aid locals. You never know when you need them later on. You agree to help out the locals if you can. The barman says that you might have the opportunity now. He heard that there might have been another attack quite recently. Should you wish so, he could have one of the serving wenches take you to the location. I think we should at least check it out, boss, Borax advises you. We don't want to pass up an opportunity to get the booze, eh? You agree with the undead cook, and a young lass soon walks you a handful of blocks where she leaves you, saying that the attack allegedly occurred in this general area. You walk around the streets briefly until you hear something odd nearby. You come across a group of locals standing around some gutters that lead to one of the waste pools. The reason you stop is that some of them are weeping. When you're about to inquire what happened, you notice that two small bodies are lying in the circle of people under some ragged blankets. An old plantation worker tells you that some kind of monstrous worm creature burst out of the gutters and murdered the children of a cobbler. Others join in and inform you that these creatures have apparently grown large and bold as of late, and now locals are beginning to fall prey to their assaults. A nest must be somewhere in the sewer tunnels and caves. Destroying it would not bring back the dead, but could prevent further casualties, and perhaps earn the locals' favor. Volunteer to find and exterminate the nest. Griftha gained loyalty. Garrick, Harvick, Nadir, and Renkailon lost loyalty. When you offer your help to the locals, they seem skeptical at first, but as soon as they realize that you're not jesting, they surround you to pat you on the back and shake your hand. Someone presses a small talisman into your palm. A young woman sings a song in your honor, and a couple of promises to name their children after you. We cannot pay you, Vagrus, the old man says, but if you do this, we'll be eternally grateful. Be the gods our witness. As you disentangle yourself from the locals' press, you begin to think about how to locate the nest. You should also make an effort to learn about these creatures as much as you can before marching down into the sewers. But where to begin? Waterlogged terraces, railed-off pools, and coastal slums make up the fields, a district that occupies most of the lakeside in Lornak. Engulfed in phosphorescence emitted by the endless bright kelp plantations, the quarter provides a luminescent backdrop to an otherwise dark city. Visit the Noonday Reader. My book! My book! The Realm Beyond. The Realms Beyond, written by Isenrion the Wanderer. As someone who has certain ties to the realms beyond, Xandros says, referring subtly to his demonkin heritage, as well as someone who has visited those infinite expanses a number of times, I can wholeheartedly recommend this book. Many authors only theorize on the subject or endlessly spout nonsense, but Isenrion is called the Wanderer for a reason. He is one of the elusive Ethils, a Fae-like race that has been almost completely exterminated during the Second Age. Isenrion has been to almost all corners of the Outer Realms during his long life, and his insights are invaluable. You take the book from Xandros and run your hand over its hard crimson cover that has small runes etched into its surface. It later turns out that the Realms Beyond is a quite difficult read, because Isenrion's use of the Imperial tongue is very unusual. You cannot decide if it is a lack of language skills or if it stems from a form of anachronism. At any rate, it deals extensively with the Outer Realms, describing locations like the Red Waste, Dakat the Whispering City, on the brink of the Abyss, the Shifting Thicket, and even mythical Karadrun, that has been cut off for millennia. Demons and their seemingly unstoppable march to conquer all realms get a lot of attention in the book, as well as their relation to demon kin. But Isenrion squashes any suspicions that the race has any part to play in the conquest as a whole. At the end of the book is a chilling account of Isenrion's pilgrimage to the edge of the realms, where he peered into an unnameable void, though he does not elaborate on what this might mean. All in all, the book proves to be a riveting read. Okay, we gained Codex on Demonkin. Xandros wishes to discuss your ongoing search for knowledge. Please forgive me. Xandros is looking for the right word, arriving at something he still considers imperfect. Curiosity. But you strike me as someone who is on a quest for knowledge. I hazard a guess that it's the reason you have frequented this humble store. You confirm to the shopkeeper that his assumptions are correct for the most part. Ah, yes. On a path of discovery you are, it seems. Xandros muses before fixing his dark gaze on you. But are you interested in preserving knowledge as well? Tell him that you would be interested in that. Ah, very well. Xandros smiles genially. You are not alone in that noble endeavor. This place is all about books, of course, but there are others still. It just occurs to me that you might find an unlikely ally in an acquaintance of mine, the head librarian of Torzag's Shelter's public library. You ask Xandros about this friend of his. I wouldn't go that far, but she is a consummate professional, which is something I greatly respect. His reply is decidedly reserved. Her name is Tertia Sartra, and she would be a great asset to your search, in my humble opinion. I can put you into contact with her, and you'll see where it goes. You tell the shopkeeper that you're listening. He kneels down behind his counter, mumbling to himself, then rises with a small book bound in green leather. He puts it on the counter and pushes it towards you theatrically. My gift to you. Seek her out at the library. Give her the book and tell her that I sent you. Oh, and don't worry about the sign that says the library is closed. Simply enter and find her beyond the great vestibule. You take the book from the counter and ask him why he's doing this. Xandros smiles for a while in silence before answering. Oh, let's just say that I'm always invested in connecting seekers of knowledge. Say it is my calling. You nod and take a quick look at the book. The book only displays the title inside the cover, Custodes. You raise an eyebrow. You have heard of this volume before. It is infamous for being on the Imperial blacklist. Even possessing a copy is a felony, or worse, heresy. Spying your concern, Xandros smiles genially and leans on the counter. Certain pieces of knowledge are worth the risk, don't you think? Tertia is someone who doesn't shy away from going behind the back of the authorities when the preservation of knowledge is concerned. Some of the greatest truths are hidden in this day and age. You hide the volume on your person, wondering about this mysterious librarian and the heretical book you're supposed to give her. You will have to see her for yourself. Alright. Look at what rare books he has to sell. Order a book. Order a book on Everdark. Good choice, if I may say. Order the book. Dude, his prices are ass. Let's rest before we do anything, because my morale is only okay. Well, actually, we were quite decent there. We should buy some bright kelp here. This quest fails in 1 day. Go hunting for the monster nest in the sewers. You can attempt this once a day. Even upon a cursory glance, the old abandoned sewer system looks like an endless maze of darkness and horrid stench. It would be unwise to go bumbling in the darkness without knowing exactly what you're looking for. It might take forever to find the nest. You know what these creatures are. Descend into darkness to locate their nest. You decide it is time to descend into the sewers below the fields and hunt down the gruftus, disgusting worm-like creatures that you are sure are responsible for the killings. A dangerous venture. You will need capable companions and some time to succeed. Alright, we get to bring everyone, thank God. They say that the sewers were constructed half a century ago, and going by the faded, damaged, and weathered reliefs, arches, and walls, they must have been exquisite back then. Spacious passages allow you and your companions to stand at full height, but the complete darkness is only broken by the occasional phosphorescent lump of bright kelp that floats by, so you brought light sources. It is a veritable maze down in the tunnels. Side passages and pipes open at every juncture, and you begin to think that the sewers go on forever. The vile stench of refuse mingles with the smell of kelp-infested waters from the lakes to create a nauseating cocktail. You have to persist, despite the returning bouts of retching, as the nest you are looking for could be anywhere in these tunnels. There is no guarantee you will find them. Very high chance of success. Yeah, I had a 100% chance. You do not find the nest, but you do find some gruftus. At first, your nose registers a change in the stench, a veritable miracle considering, but then you can hear them too. Squelching sounds echo down the passage interspersed by the occasional splash. The group approaches the junction and you can see them. 3 huge writhing worms with barb-like teeth in an ever-hungry mouth, covered in a sheen of sickly fluid. Disturbed by your presence, the beasts emit a gurgling noise and attack, slithering closer to you along the stone walls and ceiling. You have to fight for your life. What? I can only bring 4? What the fuck? Fuck you. I mean, I think these are my best guys in that case. Did he really double evade? Alright, maybe I should have bombed them. Ooh! I'm gonna bomb them, because bomb gives minus 20 evade. This guy dead? Yes. Or at least he should have been. But I guess he's not. No, he should be. Ow. Yeah, they both died. At last, the Gruftas are slain and lie at your feet in twitching heaps of stinking worm flesh, the revolting yellow blood streaming into the sewer canal. After cleaning your weapons and yourself of the stinking ooze, it is time to find your way to their lair. This was not the nest, but it cannot be too far away. The creatures may have left tracks that lead back to it, in fact. The nest is not far ahead. The passage reaches a junction where one tunnel collapses a dozen steps in, creating a hollow that was infested by the writhing creatures. You wonder if you have ever seen anything so revolting in your life. Like a festering open wound, the nest is a gooey, fleshy construction, with decomposing bodies and other horrid organic matter strewn about its immediate surroundings. The stench is indescribable. You have a brief moment before the angry Gruftas descend upon you, long enough to see fresh corpses and bulbous white larvae wriggling at the heart of the nest. Then the decisive fight begins. Oh, now I can have 6 party members? Alright, sure. Fine. Okay. He's not feeling so good. Nice evade. Poison, these guys are immune to poison, so he actually cannot do anything other than taunt. Can't see how much life these guys have. Okay, so this one... Let's do aimed shot. Because they're... I don't think they can take poison damage even as a dot. And as for this, you can just keep spamming gas bomb, I suppose. 16% chance evade. But this guy doesn't have the debuff. So they're immune to the debuff because they're immune to poison. Man, alright, sure, whatever. I don't really see how that makes any sense, but... rough duh. Alright. Well, so much for trying to use a skill. The taunt does work, though. So that's something. Well, he evaded anyway. Bro. There. Oh, he went down. My entire front line is down. Almost. One more down. I think we'll be fine, but it will suck a bit. Just infinity evade. Ah, she's down. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I think we basically won there. With the dots. I'm not sure. Holy moly. There we go. That was bad. The adult Gruftas lie slain. Their unmoving bodies now float on the sewer water. Your companions also dispatch the larvae and grab valuable-looking things from the nest before throwing lamp oil on it and setting it on fire. The thing squeals. Horrified, the company heads to the surface, leaving this accursed place behind. It will take a long time to wash the stench of the sewers out of your clothes, and even longer not to smell it in spite of that, everywhere you go. For now, you make your way back to the place where you first talked to the locals about their Grufta problem. Some people who know what you are talking about lead you to a shrine of Marcus Borden, where they soon gather those who were affected by these incidents. The old man is here, as is the couple whose child was taken by the creatures. Once you tell them that the nest is gone, everyone begins to cheer or cry from happiness. And before you know it, you're dragged along for a spontaneous celebration at the local tavern. Others from the district join in, and news of your deed spreads like wildfire. Everyone wants to hear your exciting, albeit disgusting, adventure down in the old sewers, and there is some weeping when you tell them that you have indeed found quite a lot of corpses in the lair. Someone sends for Ashkulite novices to descend, locate the nest with your instructions, and recover the remains for a proper burial. Unfortunately, the poor locals are not in the position to pay you, just like they have warned you before. And since this was not a bounty sanctioned by the Sergorodites, you will not get paid by the city either. Your new friends here do buy you drinks and offer prayers to all kinds of gods in your name, however. Some of them ask you if you have found any trinkets or jewelry on the corpses of their loved ones. These bear sentimental value to them. Remain silent on the matter and keep their knickknacks as payment for your work. Krifta, Garrick, Harvick, Nadir, and Renkailon gained loyalty. Is there a single character in this game who has, like, honor? You tell the people that everything was destroyed by the corrosive excretion of the creatures, or else by the fire you set to the noxious lair. They do not argue, but thank you again for getting rid of the monsters for them. You stay a while, talk to people, and accept the free drinks, but then it's time to leave this dilapidated neighborhood behind. At least you got to keep their stuff. Did I? +1 insight. Anyway. Visit the bumbling boatman. Inform the barman that you have helped the locals with their monster problem. The barman seems delighted that the unfortunate matter of the Gruftas has been dealt with, and commends you for taking the dive, quite literally. He is so grateful for going out of your way to defend simple folk that he hands over the bottle of luminalirium, free of charge. This is not something most people enjoy, he admits begrudgingly, an acquired taste, I would say, one that is the proud product of local culture. Perhaps you'll spread its good reputation by taking this bottle to faraway places. You assure the barman that the bottle of luminalirium will find its way to the right people. The liquid in the cheap bottle looks faintly luminescent. Now you just have to take it to Grath. Taste the local brew. It didn't do anything. I just got weakened. No, I'm too scared to go for a stroll today. Let's see. Well, I think we are ready to just head out. And we'll head up to Ash. Wind Tribe Settlement. No. Oh, Despes finished RE9 today. Damn good game. The new one that came out? Or is RE9 another game? I'm not sure. The new one? Right. Requiem. Right. Yeah, I haven't really, I honestly haven't really played Resident Evil. Other than, like, dabbled with Resident Evil 4 at some point. I have been meaning to play them, though, but I decided against. I bought a bunch of new games recently, and I was like this close to buying the Resident Evil remakes on sale because they were really good prices, but I decided against. But I bought the Thaumaturge and bought this game. This is just like a Minecraft kind of game. Empires of the Undergrowth. Might and Magic, I don't know. I don't know if I'll actually get to play them. Phantom Doctrine. Have you explored any new places? I tried, but we were blocked off by a permanent storm. So I had to go back. But I'm doing some quests and stuff. And I'm focusing on just making money right now a little bit. And earning reputation, because you can build, or you can buy an outpost, like a little town for yourself. I don't know how that's gonna work, but you can. And you need to have the backing of powerful people for them to allow you to buy it. So I need like infinity money, and I also need to have good standing with one of the noble houses, basically. Do we go to Utvarar just to sell weed? I don't think it's even worth much there. But I'm not finding anywhere to sell the weed. It's just doesn't exist. Nobody wants weed. Falat Outpost. Life can thrive even beneath such an arid and dead wasteland as the Smolderbone Flats. The outpost called Omfalat, nestled in humid caverns below the surface, is proof of this. Mushroom forests spread in the gloom, tended to by bound hands. So what do they like here? Not oil. Not cerulean crystals. Not dried fruit. They don't want shit here. They'll buy some bright kelp. But I only have one stack, but sure, you can have my bright kelp. It might be worth some more somewhere else, but they want linen. That's good. Alright, well, they don't want anything. They just sell mushrooms. Sure. Distribute to Avernum. Ends today. That, we're gonna fail that one. Beneath the tower are expensive mushroom fields. Take a stroll around the caverns to see what's going on. The rocky fields between the glowing stems resound with the usual noises of cracking whiplashes and wailing slaves, just like in the Empire's other ordinary work camps, with the added benefits of atmospheric lighting. However, as you walk around, you get the impression that all is not as usual. The drivers seem to have a hard time asserting their authority, and some of the slaves cast defiant looks upon their masters. A foreboding sense of a catastrophe to come hangs about the whole camp, and you begin to wonder whether this is the cause for the unusually low yields you are sent here to examine. So what game is next? On the Despes, a list of games. Or did you run out? Back to Crimson Desert. Look around at Omphilot Outpost to see if there is anything else you could do. Pay a visit to Progir. Progir sighs as you impose on him. Yes, Vagrus, please make this quick. I've got a lot of work on my hands as it is. Talk with Progir about House Venari. I've already talked to him about all of this stuff. There's nothing really to do here. Like, I was hoping that we would be able to, like, figure something out, but the only thing you can do here is to give him the letter. So I guess that's what we'll do. Replaying it? Oh, alright. Is there a hard mode? You hand the letter to the superintendent, who unrolls the parchment and eyes it for some time. Then he quietly nods to himself, rolls it up again and puts it down between other similar-looking scrolls on his desk. Thank you, Vagrus, he says, stroking his beard. We were already aware of the problems mentioned by Master Satyrus, and we are dealing with them. You can report back that there is nothing to be worried about. Somehow you are sure that there is more to this matter, but when you try to press it, Progir makes it clear that he does not want to discuss it any further. We are dealing with a problem, Vagrus, he emphasizes. So in case there is nothing else, I've got other issues to attend to. Okay. Ask some slave drivers about the below average yields. Why couldn't I do that before? Bought pizza today, but had to throw half away. They had put on too much ham stripes, looked like worms, and tasted uncooked. Was seconds away from throwing up. Yeah, I mean, I've had that on pizzerias that were usually good. When I lived in Skövde, there was a pizzeria there that we usually, like, we always went to because it was right next to the school. And one time when we went there, when he came with my pizza, and he, like, had the box, and he was about to, like, hand it to me, he then opened it, and he looked at it, and then he looked at me, and he said, half price. And I was like, okay, sure. And then when we got back to school with the pizzas, it was like okay, but I don't know what happened to it. But when you cut it and you picked it up, everything on top just like fell off, just like that, and it was just weird. I don't know why it would become like that, but it did make me feel kind of bad as well at that time, like queasy and like it wasn't cooked properly or whatever. Yeah. Maybe they got a new chef. You never know. We used to have the best pizzeria in like the entire area. Like, it was so good. Unfortunately, the first owner was a drug dealer, and then he like moved away because everybody knew he was a drug dealer. And then the guy who took over, he was also a drug dealer. And then he like ran the business into the ground. He still made good pizzas, but yeah, he was a drug dealer, and he also, I don't know how old he was. He must have been like 35 or 40 or something when I was in school here, and he has a kid with a girl who's 1 year younger than me. So Not ideal. Very good pizzas, though. Very, very good pizzas. The ones we have now are pretty good, but they're not as good. Also, I don't really buy pizza anymore, so. But it's so fucking expensive now. It's just, I just can't. Holy shit. Yeah, he was on drugs sometimes when you went there to pick up the pizzas as well. It was cool. Very cool. A very cool guy. You approach a couple of the handlers who are enjoying, albeit that might not be the right expression judging from their looks. Their meager lunchtime of cold mushroom stew sitting on the rocky ground, their backs against one of the giant fungal stems. Chewing gloomily on their tasteless meal, they look up at you. What do you want? You ask them about the low yields, to which they glance at another, then look up at you again, rather suspiciously. One of them spits out a piece of mushroom, then asks in a hostile manner, "What low yields? We've got more than we can stomach." His fellow drivers erupt in laughter. It's quite clear that these fellows will not talk until motivated somehow. Bribe the slave drivers into talking. You slip a few coins to the drivers. They act as if offended, but then they take the bribe and eventually start to talk. Right, listen up. The senior slave driver whispers. You might have already gotten the impression that Superintendent Progir isn't exactly at the top of his game. This goes to the extent that there is an abolitionist cell within Nonfalat, which he happens to know about. Well, fuck, we all know about it. That he's too afraid for his shitty position to report it to the bosses in Larnak. Not that he likes the position, but I guess it pays well. Certainly better than our job, and that's why none of us care. I certainly won't be strangled or shanked by some slave for these starving wages. Anyway, the abolitionists have been sabotaging the harvest for some time now, and methinks they're planning to revolt sooner or later. I won't stand in their way, that's for sure. Their leaders are well known. With that, the guard quickly describes whom to look for, and where in these very caverns. You memorize the information and leave for the time being. I think going to do that is a really bad idea. Because I think my companions all have, like, no health. Actually, it's not that bad, but it's not good. Also, eating mushroom soup like that guy was, and only eating mushroom, it's hard to really understand how fucking ass it is before you've been forced to do something like that. Because, like, right now, I'm eating only meat, more or less. And honestly, out of everything, eating only meat is one of the more, like, doable things. It doesn't make you want to blow your brains out to only eat meat, as long as you can at least, like, salt it or whatever. But I also tried a potato diet once, and I ate only potatoes for, I think it was 2 weeks. It was either 1 week or 2 weeks. That is fucking undoable. It is so awful. You just cannot stomach it. It like, at first you eat like, oh, I'm gonna eat 3 potatoes today. Yummy potatoes. And then when you're on like week 2 or week, like at the end of the first week, you can't even eat like half a potato because it's just horrible. Because it just isn't like food. Like, not really. All resistance. Do we give him that? I don't know if it's that good, but sure. It fits because he's a dark elf. But yeah, all right. Let's rest and see if we can get a little bit more healing done here today. Oh, we got quite a lot. 3 vitality on Harvick. Maybe we are tanky enough to manage this. Try to locate the abolitionist leaders indicated to you by Omfolet Outpost's personnel. You were given rather accurate descriptions of the main collaborators, and soon managed to spot one of them, a young slave woman. To say that she is acting suspiciously is a gross understatement. Characteristically of Omphalet's loose regimen, she does not even try to conceal that she is up to no good. So you follow her. It is highly likely that she realizes this, but apparently does not care too much. The woman joins in a meeting of slaves, only haphazardly concealed behind one of the clay huts. They confer in low voices while you ponder your next step. Spend some time watching them to see where this is going. You spend some time spying on the slaves, but cannot make out much of their conversation. After a while, the meeting seems to be over and the group splits up. Most of the conspirators return to their work, or the pretense of it, but 3 of them walk away from the main camp, to the grotto's unlit rock wall that is out of the way of all activities. You decide to go after them stealthily. Hidden in the shadows and concealed by a patch of unglowing dead fungi, there is a tunnel entrance which they enter. You wait a few minutes to make sure that no one is watching, then follow them. Help! 4 party members. Oh, 12 HP, 7 HP, 6 HP, 11 HP. I only get to bring 4. I think we have to bring Borax. Him. She only has 6 HP, so maybe Krifta is the right choice here. And Harvik or Renkailon. Harvik has some more HP. I think we have to go with him. The system of tunnels you venture into is quite spacious and was apparently used by the outpost's workers at some point. The walls are partially carved and there are signposts at the junctions, at least in the initial corridors. Possibly during Omphalet's former days there was an effort to dig deeper into the ground, which was then abandoned for whatever reason. As you delve deeper inside, this becomes more evident. The corridors gradually become rougher, and the signs of dilapidated infrastructure disappear. You have to be careful not to lose your way in the twisting maze of tunnels. At length, you come upon a commodious cave lit by torches. The light is enough to make you advance more carefully. There are people here. When you spy from behind a rocky corner, you see a group of slaves, abolitionists, the whole lot of them. There is no doubt about it. They are gathered around an older man with exceptionally bulbous eyes. It seems you are far from being as stealthy as you assumed, for those eyes almost immediately fixate upon you. Why skulk around? We can tell you are there, the man says. These torches cast shadows, you know. Order your companions to attack this rabble of slaves. You will give no quarter. Leading your group, you enter the cave, weapons at the ready. While your combs engage the other slaves, you head for their leader. He reaches for his weapon, but you slay him before he can draw it. The sound of combat fills the cave. Okay. Oh. He is taking 5 total damage. So he is dead. Not finishing him off means that he will hurt me though, but... Ah! There he died. Ah! Oh no. I thought they attacked Garrick. Never mind. No, don't evade. He has 4 HP. He is dead. We could try to focus on this guy again. She's out of power? She can't do anything without any power? Damn. That went a lot better than I was expecting. The fight is over, and you are victorious. Common slaves are no match to your crew's superior skills. It is clear that you have managed to subdue the leaders of the abolitionist cell. What remains should prove no problem to Omflat's guards. You decide to seek out the superintendent and inform him. As soon as Progir hears the news, he sends out his forces to round up stragglers and collaborators. Shortly after, the outpost is filled with the anguished screams of the punished and tortured. Listen, Vagrus, the dwarf says. I am more than aware that I haven't handled this whole affair the way a strong-minded leader should. I am most thankful for your help, but I'd be even more thankful if you didn't mention my shortcomings to the Venari representatives back in Larnak. The repercussions for failure tend to be harsh. To that you make no promises, but prepare for departure instead, leaving him in doubt. Your work here is done. No, the abolitionists don't like me. All right. Should we buy some mushrooms? Is the mushroom price even good here? It is. Turn in. 0 rep, but we do get the money. Have I ordered something crafted here? I think I have. Yes, lances. Let's see if the lances are worth anything. I can make reinforced wheels here with metal axes. But the question is, like, it doesn't actually say what the item is, so it's hard to say. Because I already have that. So it's like, okay, is it just the same one? Probably, but I don't know. Alright, so mushrooms. Not worth selling. Oil. Not worth selling. Dried fruit. Kind of worth selling. Cerulean crystals. Worth selling. Worth selling. No longer worth selling. Flavo. Worth selling. Alright. No, we still have some ceruleum left. Scoria is known as a fairly dangerous neighborhood, yet you decide to have a little stroll there, and see if any opportunities come your way. You have just finished looking around and unfortunately have not found anything useful, when several burly men step in front of you in a quiet alley. Look at this, mate. Them strangers walking around on our turf with no respect to our locals. Afraid we have to take some coin to make up for the mistake. And when I say some, I mean all of it. The men are armed. The men are well armed for a street scuffle, yet they are no trained fighters. All of it? No, they only take 2. You are a known associate of the Carpenter's Guild. Upon hearing this, the men scurry away without looking back. Right. Yeah. I think I'm gonna stop there for today. I just wanted to play a bit. I had a headache like all day. And I think I'm just gonna chill out. I have to do a bunch of stuff tomorrow as well, so I think that'll be good enough. I feel like I could do a lot more in this game if I just actually started doing things, but I'm like avoiding all these heroic quests. So it's really hard for me to actually figure out what to do. So at some point I wonder if we will become a little bit forced to start doing more quests. But we still have the option of spamming more quests for, or more tasks for the houses and getting reputation with them, because that does unlocks quest lines that seem more like in line with what I'm doing. But there is the question of like, getting up to these, like the towns up here, like it's just locked behind like an eternal storm of wind. And the question is just like, is the only way to solve that by actually doing like the story stuff? It might be, but who knows? And like going into the vortex here, for example, doesn't really feel like something my character would do necessarily. But yeah, the Howling City. There is this place that we could check out. Anyhow, next time. Thanks for hanging. Have a good night.